ശരി ബൈ.
ഓക്കെ ബൈ.
Hello guys. Welcome. Ready for today's blast? Ta-da-dang. English literature of the post-war and contemporary period. As you know, this is the most important period. Welcome everyone to this session. Be with me till the end, because at the end also, in between, at the end, we have amazing questions coming up. Namaste, welcome. As soon as you come, please like the video. There is so much we are going to do today. Yeah. Thank you. I'm so excited about the crash course that I put my mind and soul into making questions and getting ready for the session. Okay, we are starting. Voice quality is amazing because I have the best. What is it called? Victorian age we didn't do. Little bit we did now. Another day we'll do quizzes then. Right. Please wait, your audio, video, everything will get corrected. My equipment is all good. Connection is also good today. Okay, starting now. Recap. We are revising everything. Which among the following is not an illuminated book by Blake? Yo. What is this? Sorry. Oh, it is not recap. Sorry, I didn't do recap today. There is no recap. I'm just going into the... Sorry guys. I didn't do recap today. But doesn't matter. There is so much material today. I'm just going into post-war literature. Recap I will do tomorrow. Post-war literature, poets first. There was a lot of changes in the post-war period. In politics, there was first the Labour government. Labour government came, and there was an Education Act of 1944. Remember that? There was an Education Act of 1944. And there was the welfare state. After the Second World War, Britain brought the idea of welfare states, which did not work properly. Many colonies of Britain got independence, like India. Who was the British king who ruled England when India got independence? Tell me. Which British king ruled while India got independence? Tell me. It is George the Sixth. King George the Sixth. Okay. And then there was conservative government formed under Winston Churchill. And so many people came and went. There was very importantly Margaret Thatcher. Many novels represented Margaret Thatcher's Britain. Tell me, who wrote Money representing Margaret Thatcher's Britain? Bolo? Welcome everyone. No problem, I just started. Bolo? Who wrote Money, the novel representing Margaret Thatcher's Britain? It is Martin Amis. Martin Amis. Who wrote N.W. Northwest? N.W. novel representing Margaret Thatcher's Britain. N.W. representing Margaret Thatcher's Britain. It is Zadie Smith. N.W. representing Northwest. Zadie Smith. Who wrote Brick Lane set in Margaret Thatcher's Britain? Who wrote Brick Lane set in Margaret Thatcher's Britain? It is Monica Ali. Monica Ali. Who wrote The Line of Beauty set in Margaret Thatcher's Britain? The Line of Beauty is by Alan Hollinghurst. Alan Hollinghurst. Look at this, guys. All these genres existed during this period. Holocaust fiction, historical fiction, post-colonial fiction. I will write post-colonial fiction. Then women's writing started. Then kya hua? Postmodernism came, magic realism came, science fiction came. Wow, so many different kinds of genres existed, Henna. Amazing. Now, we'll go on to talk about poetry after the Second World War. After the Second World War, very important was the new apocalypse poetry. New apocalypse poets. Okay, this is Dylan Thomas. He is a neo-romantic poet. Neo-romantic. They had an anthology called New Apocalypse. One of their anthologies was called New Apocalypse. Another anthology was called The White Horseman. Are you seeing what I'm typing? And then there was one called The Crown and the Sickle. These are anthologies of new apocalypse poetry. Thatcherism means Margaret Thatcher had an economic policy that favored the rich people. She brought a lot of cuts on subsidies. Did you understand, Deepak? She brought a lot of cuts on subsidies. That is what is called Thatcherism. That poor people did not like. She favored rich people only. Got it? ठीक है. Now, these are the anthologies. New Apocalypse, The White Horseman, The Crown and the Sickle. And you know, Dylan Thomas was the most important figure. Fern Hill, he wrote and Poem in October. Fern Hill and Poem in October. Haven't you heard? Very important poems of Dylan Thomas. Both are autobiographical. Both are autobiographical. And Dylan Thomas has also written other poems like Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night and Death Shall Have No Dominion. Do not go gentle into the good night and death shall have no dominion, which is the radio play by Cuts is by Malcolm Bradbury, not Ray Bradbury, Malcolm Bradbury. Ye bolo, which is the radio play by Dylan Thomas? Radio play by Dylan Thomas. It is Under Milkwood. Under Milkwood. Yes, his collections of short stories bolo. Collections of short stories. The Map of Love. Portrait of the Artist as a Young Dog. White Horseman. These are all anthologies. अरे यहाँ तो लिखा है. These are all anthologies. New Apocalypse is the name of the anthology. So now I have just highlighted it. And then we have Dylan Thomas. Second World War poets were there. Alan Lewis, Keith Douglas. Shall I write their names here? Alan Lewis, Keith Douglas. Have you heard these names? They are Second World War poets. Got it, guys? Did you like that? Okay, the movement now. They were very prominent in the 1950s. The movement. Who are the major figures? One is D.J. Enright. Another is Philip Larkin. Then Donald Davy. They are all important figures of movement poets. Important figures among movement poets. D.J. Enright, Philip Larkin, then Donald Davy. Ye bolo, Philip Larkin's poetry. Name his important poems, everybody. Everybody, name important poems by Philip Larkin. The Whitsun Weddings, Church Going. Yeah, more poets are coming in the next slide. Abhi to Larkin ke baare mein bolo. Next, please. Love Again. I remember. Toad. Toad, Henna. Right. Then Larkin's collections include The North Ship. That's right. The North Ship, The Less Deceived. What did Larkin write like? Larkin wrote very impersonal, sardonic tone. Poetry in sardonic tone. He was against modernists and also against the romantics. Which are the two novels by Philip Larkin? Philip Larkin has written two novels. Yeah, Jill and the Girl in Winter. Jill and the Girl in Winter. That is right. MXVII. What is that number? The year in which what began? Something began in that year. Tell me. MXVII means what year? Which year is that? (2017). Oh. It is not a year then. Which another poem was there like that year? I suddenly can't remember. Please look it up, okay? Look it up. I suddenly can't remember. It slips my mind. Okay. So many collections and poems are there. There are other poets like Basil Bunting, Donald Davy. Donald Davy is also important. Then we have Elizabeth Jennings. Elizabeth Jennings is there. Tom Gunn is there. Ted Hughes is not a main movement poet, but he is associated. And at this time of the movement poets, there was also another group of poets called the Group. The Group. Elizabeth Jennings was different from the other movement poets because Elizabeth Jennings wrote about Roman Catholicism and also mental disorder. Right? Like this, we will look at all the authors, then we will do the questions. Then we have Seamus Heaney. I will do questions in 1 minute. First, let us MX. Yeah, it is. That is right. MXIV. Correct. What is that year? Tell me. Correct. Now I remember. That is right. 1914, year in which First World War began. Now I remembered. 1914, that is right. 1914, year in which First World War began. Correct. Suddenly I couldn't understand what I'm thinking. Seamus Heaney next. Seamus Heaney was born in 1939, in which year Second World War began. Henna? And he was an Irish poet. His first collection was Death of a Naturalist. Death of a Naturalist. Correct. I remembered. Death of a Naturalist. And he has written many number of poems. Many poems are called bog poems. Bogland, Bog Queen, Punishment. Then he has written Spirit Level, Death of a Naturalist, Digging, Henna? Death of a Naturalist. Spirit Level. Yeah. Then Midterm Break. Did you get the previous day's PDF, everybody? Did you take from the Telegram group? If there is anybody new today, if you don't know how to get this PDF, every day I am giving my 10 p.m. live PDF for free. You can just WhatsApp me and you will get a Telegram link. Immediately join the Telegram group and I will tell you. And you can get the PDF from there. Death of a Naturalist is about his childhood. He is talking about seeing frog spawn or the eggs of the frog in the water and about, how childhood pleasures were, etc. Okay, bog is in Seamus Heaney a metaphor for memory, tradition. He writes a lot about the rustic life of people. in Ireland, correct. And then he has also translated Beowulf, that is right. Seamus Heaney has also translated Beowulf in 1999. Okay. Next is other poets. Now I have given you here a lot of new poets. Andrew Motion is different. He's not a Martian poet. It is Craig Rain. Andrew Motion nahi. Craig Rain is the Martian poet. One minute. Craig Rain. So Charles Tomlinson has written a lot of poems with painterly effects, painter-like effects. Swimming, Chenang Lake, Prometheus, etc. are famous poems of Charles Tomlinson. They have already asked questions on Geoffrey Hill. Geoffrey Hill, they have already asked questions. Please look up Geoffrey Hill. And Martian poetry. Major figure is Craig Rain. Martian poetry. Why is it called Martian poetry? Because they wrote satirical poetry about contemporary life, as if a Martian from the Mars, from the outer space, has come down and he is looking at us. That is the meaning of Martian poetry. You know, poetry written as if a Martian has come from Mars and is looking at us. Then Andrew Motion is there, who was a very major poet, and he was a poet laureate. For the first time, it was Andrew Motion who did not become a lifetime poet laureate. He was a poet only for 10 years. Poet laureate only for 10 years. Then Christopher Reid also. That is not the spelling. Christopher Reid. That what you have written is another Christopher Reid. Christopher Reid. This is the spelling. Yeah. He is also Martian poet. Correct. Then poets of gender themes are there. Wendy Cope is a major poet of gender themes. Wendy Cope. Have you heard of Wendy Cope? Then Carol Ann Duffy. Our poet laureate, Carol Ann Duffy. These are poets of gender themes. Poets of racial themes include Grace Nichols, black writer. Grace Nichols is a black writer. Have you heard of Grace Nichols? Then there is Linton Kwesi Johnson. Linton Kwesi Johnson is also famous. David Daberdeen, cousin of Cyril Daberdeen. David Daberdeen. Okay, so these are important poets of racial themes. Now, other contemporary poets, I have put them here. Craig Rain, Wendy Cope, Tawny Curtis, John Ash, Carol Ann Duffy. Will you remember? Michael Hoffman, Lavinia Greenlaw. Please look at, this is the contemporary poet laureate. Contemporary poet laureate is Simon Armitage. Will you remember, guys? Yeah, you can WhatsApp me and you can get all this. First, you will get a Telegram link. Join Telegram, and then from Telegram, you can get the PDF. Okay, guys? Are you loving this? Is this exciting? Tell me. Hi, Reena. Did you like that? Yeah. That is right. So, let me go on. Ta-da-dang! Playwrights now. We will just have an overview of playwrights also. Drawing room comedies were written by Noel Coward and Terence Rattigan. Drawing room comedies showed upper class characters and their superficial aspects of life. Okay? Poetic drama was written by people like Christopher Fry. John Osborne wrote Look Back in Anger, The Entertainer, Luther, Deja Vu. Look Back in Anger was the first angry young man play. Look Back in Anger was performed on 8th May 1956 at Royal Court Theatre. What is the name of the protagonist of The Entertainer? You are telling me the works by Noel Coward and Terence Rattigan, correct? Noel Coward wrote, before Look Back in Anger, Noel Coward wrote The Vortex, Hay Fever, Private Lives, Designed for Living. Henna, please read extra, okay? And Terence Rattigan wrote The Winslow Boy, the Browning version, Separate Tables, wonderful. Christopher Fry wrote Lady is Not for Burning. The Lady is Not for Burning, wonderful, wonderful. And Angry Young Man movement was against drawing room comedies. Henna, Angry Young Man movement was against drawing room comedies. If drawing room was only seen in Noel Coward and Terence Rattigan's plays, in Angry Young Man you can see the ironing board. And after that you can see the kitchen sink. Henna, kitchen sink. John Osborne wrote Look Back in Anger, I told you. Then Entertainer, I was asking you, Archie Rice, correct. Archie Rice is the protagonist of The Entertainer. Archie Rice, his father Billy Rice, both are music hall performers. Music hall is a metaphor for Britain here. And there is Phoebe, Jean, other characters, Frank. Which political event is The Entertainer set against? Which political event is Entertainer set against? It is the seizure of the Suez Canal by Egypt. Archie Rice's son gets killed by the Egyptians. Mike gets killed by the Egyptians. Will you remember that? Yes. And we are talking about drama here. Alan Sillitoe was not a dramatist. We are talking about postmodern playwrights here. Postwar playwrights. Karnataka assistant professor classes chal raha hai. I am conducting, and all these things I have taught in very great detail there already. If you join, you will be preserved, Henna. You will be benefited. Karnataka assistant professor classes are going on. Some 200 people are there, and we are doing very, very well. Extremely detailed classes we have these days. Then, Deja Vu is the sequel to Look Back in Anger. Will you remember? Deja Vu is the sequel to Look Back in Anger. Arnold Wesker wrote Arnold Wesker trilogy. Chicken Soup with Barley, then Roots. And I am talking about Jerusalem. Henna, all depicting the Khan family. These three plays depict the Khan family. He wrote kitchen sink realism. Henna, kitchen sink realism. There was a book, an essay written by David Sylvester called Kitchen Sink. And the name came from the paintings of John Bratby. John Bratby. Will you please take down everything I'm saying if you don't know? Guys, will you please like the video? Have you liked the video, guys? Will you please like the video? Sanjaya, you only hear my Henna. My questions you don't hear, Sanjaya. Yes, The Kitchen he wrote. Other plays by Arnold Wesker are The Kitchen, then Chips with Everything. Would you like that, guys? Oh, yo, do you know my husband eats chips with rice also? My husband eats chips and all sorts of namkeen with rice also. Not now, earlier. Then, the absurd in literature. What did Sheila Delaney write, Bolo? What did Sheila Delaney write? Lower class themes, correct, Priyanka? Sheila Delaney, what did she write? She wrote A Taste of Honey. A Taste of Honey. That's right. Sender 42 was his theatre group. Theatre group. खाने का चीज कोई नहीं भूलेगा. Ayyo, Deepak. Bolo, the absurd in literature. The concept of absurd came from The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus. The Myth of Sisyphus by Camus, Albert Camus. And Martin Esslin wrote The Theatre of the Absurd. Dekho, The Theatre of the Absurd. And what are the features of Theatre of the Absurd? There is no proper characterization, there is no proper plot, there is no proper anything, very no proper stage settings, very sparse stage settings hota hai. Then plot development nahi hota. Samuel Beckett also wrote novels like that, not only plays, है ना? देखो, Samuel Beckett, early works. Horoscope is a volume of verse by Samuel Beckett. Verse, poetry. Then More Pricks Than Kicks, another short story collection. Murphy. What are Beckett's fictional works? Bolo. Murphy. Then Molloy, Malone Dice, The Unnameable, yeah. I have taught all this in detail for Karnataka Assistant Professor Recruitment Exam. And then he wrote Waiting for Godo, then Endgame, and one more play is Happy Days. Waiting for Godo, Endgame, and Happy Days. Ta-da-dang! Are you loving this? Ta-da-dang! N.F. Simpson, Harold Pinter, have you heard? Harold Pinter wrote Comedy of Menace, The Birthday Party, The Dumb Waiter, The Caretaker, and Homecoming. All these are there for Karnataka Assistant Professor Exam. Very, very important. Breath also correct, not I. How it is. What? Correct. Peter Schaffer. What did Peter Schaffer write? So many plays there are in the post-war period. Peter Schaffer. No, before that. Arey, we forgot a few playwrights. कोई नहीं, आप बनाएंगे. Which are the playwrights we forgot? Bolo? I forgot. Which playwrights? Edward Bond. Then, what are the plays by Edward Bond? Then, after Edward Bond, there is Tom Stoppard. देखो, Edward Bond ने क्या लिखा बोलो? Edward Bond wrote the first play is The Pope's Wedding. फिर क्या लिखा उसने? Saved, very important. Then Narrow Road to the Deep North. Narrow Road to the Deep North. Then he wrote Black Mass. Then Lear. Lear is based on King Lear. The Sea, a Comedy. Then Bingo. The Bundle. Are you loving this? So many plays. Henna. Next. Sanjay will tease me now. Henna बोलने के लिए. Okay. अभी Tom Stoppard का लिखें. Tom Stoppard ने क्या लिखा? What did he do? This Bond used violence in his plays. So much violence. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Then, The Real Inspector Hound. The Real Inspector Hound is a murder mystery. Jumpers. Artist Descending the Staircase. Then travesties, very famous, Henna. Travesties. In travesties, James Joyce, Vladimir Lenin, Tristan Zara are all characters. Then Hapgood, Arcadia, Indian Ink. These are all important plays. Indian Ink. Will you remember? So many plays by Tom Stoppard. Next is Peter Schaffer, Carol Churchill. You know, Carol Churchill talked about dance drama. She depicted dance drama. She depicted theatre of cruelty. Ayyo, this is in Bond. This is Saved by Edward Bond. This is from Saved by Edward Bond. This is from Saved by Edward Bond. Now bolo. Peter Barnes, Alan Ayckbourn. Will you look up these writers? Very, very important. Top Girls is very famous. Top Girls by Carol Churchill. Quiz time. Ta-da-dang. Are you ready? Ready for quiz? Are you ready for quiz? बोलो. हाँ, कैरल चर्चिल ने बहुत लिखा. Carol Churchill, Cloud9, Serious Money. Then A Dream Play. Top Girls, Soft Cops, Owners, so many. If you want to join Karnataka PSC, Karnataka Assistant Professorship exam, please WhatsApp our office. They will give you, I'm sending the office number. For all that, you please text them. Please text our office and they will send you the details, okay? Test office. Mouthful of birds also. Okay, quiz time, guys. Guys, did you like the video? Ta-da-dang. Who edited The New Apocalypse? The White Horseman and The Crown and the Sickle. Anthologies of New Apocalypse poetry. Bolo. Who edited these anthologies? Who edited these anthologies? George Barker and Vernon Watkins, Philip O'Connor and Nicholas Moore, J.F. Henry and Henry Trees, Alex Comfort and Dylan Thomas. Definitely. This is for NET, Mandeep Singh. I am doing this for NET and SET also. In NET and SET, all these things will come. It is J.F. Henry and Henry Trees. The anthologies of New Apocalypse poetry were edited by J.F. Henry and Henry Trees. Correct. Next. Bring up the bodies is an example of. Bring up the bodies is an example of. Easy. Bring up the bodies is an example of. Historical fiction. Bring up the bodies is historical fiction. Bring up the bodies is by Hilary Mantel. It is Thomas Cromwell trilogy. Bring Up the Bodies is a Booker Prize winning novel by Hilary Mantel. If you attend my classes, you won't feel this is difficult. This is not a tough question. You have to attend the classes if possible and also get all the notes, then it won't be difficult. If you don't study in the right way, it will be difficult. Who wrote Deaths and Entrances? Did you like my smiley? Today's smiley, did you like? who wrote Deaths and Entrances. Deaths and Entrances is a collection of poems by Dylan Thomas. Deaths and Entrances is a collection of poems by Dylan Thomas. Which among these is not by Philip Larkin? Which among these is not by Philip Larkin? Love Again, A Girl in Winter. Next, please. Remembering the 30s. Remembering the 30s is not by Philip Larkin. Ta-da-dang! Then, Killers from the Egg. The malevolent aged grin. They dance on the surface among the flies. These are lines from Dash. Next, please, is by Philip Larkin. Next, please, is a play by Philip Larkin. Bring Up the Bodies is Thomas Cromwell trilogy. Wolf Hall, Bring Up the Bodies, The Mirror and the Light. These are about Henry VIII's court. Thomas Cromwell trilogy. Ye bolo. These are lines from which poem? These are lines from the poem Pike by Ted Hughes. These are lines from Pike by Ted Hughes. Ta-da-dang! Did you like the smiley? Killers from the Egg. He is talking about a fish. Pike is a fish. Killers from the egg. You know, from the egg of the fish, killer fish will come. Pike is a killer fish. The malevolent aged grin. That means the fish's face is like a grin like this. They dance on the surface among the flies. These fishes dance on the surface of the water. And they kill other fishes. That is what he is talking about. Pike. Did you get it? Clear, everyone? Let me drink some water. Okay. Next question to you. Apocalypse movement was a group of British writers devoted to the end of the world. Inspired by surrealism, their work full of nightmarish images. Apocalypse means end of the world. Their work full of nightmarish images of war and chaos. Their poetry was a reaction to Dash. Their poetry was a reaction to Dash. रोमांटिक एज का पीडीएफ है ना हमारे ग्रुप में. ज्वाइन करो ग्रुप और ले लो. Their poetry was a reaction to ardent generation. Correct. Apocalypse movement was a reaction to ardent generation. Guys, did you like the video, guys? Please like the video, everyone. Now, ardent generation के खिलाफ थे apocalypse movement के लोग. Apocalypse movement is against ardent generation of the 30s. Ardent generation 1930s. Apocalypse movement 1940s. Who wrote the poem A Martian Sends a Postcard Home? A Martian Sends a Postcard Home is a poem by Bolo Bolo. It is the Martian poet Craig Rain. नहीं भूलना, okay? Remember, did you like my smiley? To join my Telegram channel and to get all the former PDF, please WhatsApp me. When you WhatsApp me, you will automatically get a link, Telegram link. Join the Telegram group, take the PDF from the Telegram group, okay? Just WhatsApp me and then join the Telegram group. Next question. Standing female nude, the other country, the world's wife. These are poetry collections by Standing female nude, the other country, the world's wife. These are The Rapture. These are poetry collections by Who wrote these poetry collections? Carol Ann Duffy. Carol Ann Duffy is a lesbian poet and she's a professor. She has written a lot about gender issues. Did you understand? She has written a lot about women. She has written about the wives of famous personalities. Ta-da-dang! Did you like that? Are you loving the quizzes? Are you loving the questions? To get our notes or anything, just WhatsApp me first and get the Telegram link. Join the Telegram link and you will get details when you WhatsApp me. Please WhatsApp me and get it. Okay? Right. Next question. Which is not a symbol in Look Back in Anger? Which is not a symbol. Abhi bolo. Which is not a symbol in Look Back in Anger? Newspapers, church bells, trumpet, bear and the squirrel. All of these are symbols. Suno, Jimmy Porter plays the trumpet. Newspapers they are reading. Church bells are heard from outside. Jimmy Porter gets angry with church bells. Bear and the squirrel game he plays with Allison. All of these are symbols. Did you get that, guys? ठीक है. Don't worry. If you are not able to remember everything, don't worry. If you study well, you will know everything. Ta-da-dang! Dash is the final novel in the trilogy of Hilary Mantel, tracing the rise and fall of Thomas Cromwell, the powerful minister in the court of Henry VIII, which is the last novel in Hilary Mantel's trilogy. Pipe is also a symbol, correct. He smokes a pipe. Jimmy Porter smokes a pipe, correct. The last novel in Hilary Mantel's Thomas Cromwell trilogy is The Mirror and the Light. The Mirror and the Light. Which among the statements is not true regarding chicken soup with barley? Which among these is not true? It speaks about World War II. Stalinism is referred to here. Hungarian Revolution of 1956 finds mention. It warns of nuclear holocaust. Mirror and the Lamp is by M.H. Abrams, correct. Chicken Soup with Barley is about communists. It is set against Second World War. Hungarian Revolution, in which communists did not perform ethically correctly. Communists did a very wrong mistake against Hungary. All A, B, C are mentioned. It warns of nuclear holocaust is not there. D is the answer. It warns of nuclear holocaust is not there. Ta-da-dang! Are you getting... Oh, you want me to explain? Chicken Soup with Barley is Arnold Wesker's trilogy. It is part of Arnold Wesker's trilogy. In Chicken Soup with Barley, there is the Khan family, K-A-H-N, Khan family. Okay? The Khan family are communists. And it is set against the Second World War and Hungarian Revolution. Did you get me, guys? Thank you. In A Taste of Honey, Sheila Delaney does not show the theme of dash. Sheila Delaney does not show which of these? In A Taste of Honey. Sheila Delaney shows happiness, darkness and death. But anxiety is not there. Happiness, darkness and death. Please read about it. It is a kitchen sink play. Sheila Delaney's A Taste of Honey is a kitchen sink play. I am loving this. Are you loving this? Ta-da-dang. Guys, are you loving the quiz? Please read extra about the play, you will understand. Please read extra about the play, okay? Now, dash is not among the themes in Samuel Beckett's Murphy. Dash is not there. It is all of these are there. All of these are there in Samuel Beckett's Murphy. Got it? What are you but a corpse waiting to be washed? This is a line from, wow, where is it from? What are you but a corpse waiting to be washed? This dumb waiter, the birthday party, the caretaker, silence. It is birthday party. Birthday party. What are you but a corpse waiting to be washed? Which of the following is not true about Estragon in Waiting for Godo? He sleeps. He is insecure when lonely. He is hungry. He wants to leave. It is B. This is This is about Vladimir. It is Vladimir who is insecure. Will you remember? He sleeps. Estragon sleeps in the play. Estragon is hungry in the play. Estragon wants to leave in the play. You should attend my detailed classes, guys. Then you will remember everything. If you attend my detailed classes, nothing will be difficult. That is why you are finding it difficult sometimes. Will you remember? Okay. Which is the first play by Edward Bond? Which of these is the first play by Edward Bond? Ta-da-dang, The Pope's Wedding. What does this denote? The title denotes an impossible event. The Pope's Wedding, the title denotes an impossible event. Okay, an impossible event. If you wait some time, you will get it. Telegram link is like that. Sometimes it doesn't work, but afterwards, when you try, you will get it. Just wait, you will get it. Don't worry. In Lear by Edward Bond, among the characters, Bordis, Cordelia, Bordis, Fontenelle, who are the king's daughters? Which among these are the king's daughters? UPHESC also I'll do. All three are daughters. All three are his daughters. Sorry. All three are his daughters. Cordelia, Bordis and Fontenelle, all are his daughters. Will you remember? Then, in which work by Samuel Beckett? In which work by Samuel Beckett does the narrator repeatedly characterize speech as a brief movement of the lower face or a sound, thus trivializing it? Only sound and movement of the face, no speech. Which novel is that? In which novel by Samuel Beckett, movement of the face and sound only are there? It is How It Is. How It Is. How It Is. Shogo is a character in the play Dash by Edward Bond. Shogo. Shogo is in Narrow Road to the Deep North. He is a baby at first. Basho, the poet, is finding the baby but doing nothing to help the baby. Later, Shogo becomes an emperor. Will you remember? Later, he becomes an emperor. What matter who is speaking? Foucault sees this sentence as an expression of the major principles of contemporary writing. Who wrote this sentence? Bolo. Foucault, in What is an Author, says that this sentence is representative of the principles of contemporary writing. Who wrote this sentence? It is Samuel Beckett in the book Stories and Texts for Nothing. Stories and Texts for Nothing. Will you remember, guys? Stories and Texts for Nothing. Are you bored with the questions? You have to tell me, are you bored with the questions? There are so many more today. Wonderful it is today. Are you loving this? Ta-da-dang! Yeah. It is. Which play by Tom Stoppard refers to Niels Bohr's dictum? The answer is the question interrogated. The answer is the question interrogated. It's about physics. Heisenberg's principle, quantum theory, Niels Bohr, all these things are there. It is in the play Hapgood. Tom Stoppard's play Hapgood is about espionage. The protagonist is a spy woman. It refers to so many physics and such things. Which of the following is not true about Top Girls by Carol Churchill? You can't see, I suppose. Which of the following is not true about Top Girls? It denotes powerful women who won against patriarchy. All their successes are based on painful sacrifices. It was her first professional stage play, Churchill's. It is part of socialist theatre. Which of these is not good? Sorry, not true. This is not true. It was Churchill's first professional stage play is not true. Alright. Then, who wrote The Coast of Utopia? A trilogy of plays comprising Voyage, Shipwreck and Salvage. Coast of Utopia. A trilogy of plays comprising Voyage, Shipwreck and Salvage. It is Tom Stoppard. Many of you said it. Tom Stoppard. Then, who is the main character in the verse play Serious Money by Carol Churchill? Ta-da-dang! Lulu, Marlene, Alison, Skilla. Serious Money by Carol Churchill. Carol Churchill's Skilla. Then, next question, ready? Next question to you is, ta-da-dang. Oh, yo, Unacademy girl घुस गई. Unacademy girl says, join Unacademy, learn everything properly. Unacademy में क्या हो रहा है पता है? Until 31st October, mega offer is there. If you take 6 months subscription, 1 month free. If you take 24 months subscription, 3 months free. That is amazing. Wow. Take it now. Subscribe to Unacademy now. Okay, post-war literature fiction. I'm going to teach for some time and then we'll have more questions. So many questions today. Postmodern fiction. George Orwell. Tell me the early works of George Orwell. Down and Out in Paris and London, Burmese Days, A Clergyman's Daughter, Keep the Aspidistra Flying, Henna. And major works are Animal Farm in 1984. George Orwell also wrote non-fiction. Non-fiction also. C.P. Snow is there. Anthony Powell is there. C.P. Snow wrote Strangers and Brothers. Anthony Powell wrote Dance to the Music of Time. A Dance to the Music of Time. Okay, Akshita and Shubhangi, babies. Now, William Golding wrote many plays. Lord of the Flies, The Inheritors, Pincher Martin, Free Fall, Spire, Pyramid, Scorpion God, Darkness Visible, The Paperman. So many plays. You will get all the notes if you subscribe. Whatever classes abhi tak hua hai, everything you can take from the app if you subscribe. My God, so many novels William Golding wrote. Only one play he has written, Brass Butterfly. Road to Vegan Pier is by George Orwell. Anthony Burgess, the Malayan trilogy, Clockwork Orange. Clockwork Orange has the protagonist, Alex. See Alex here? This is Alex. He's being tortured for violence. Then Devil of a State, Nothing Like the Sun, Enderby Quartet. Nothing Like the Sun is about Shakespeare. Nothing Like the Sun is about Shakespeare. No paper notes nahi hai. Everything is online only. Then Nothing Like the Sun is about Shakespeare. Abba Abba is about John Keats. A Dead Man in Deptford is about Marlowe. 1985 is written in response to 1984. Angry Young Man novelists. The angry young man novelists are Kingsley Amis, John Brain, John Wayne, Alan Silito. Okay. Disillusion and political unrest was the main feature of post-war literature. That is right. Kingsley Amis's Lucky Jim. John Brain wrote Room at the Top. John Wayne wrote Young Shoulders. Alan Silito wrote Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. Remember, okay? Other novelists. Muriel Spark, Iris Murdoch. And Doris Lessing. Muriel Spark, Iris Murdoch and Doris Lessing. What are the works by Muriel Spark? Muriel Spark's first novel is The Comforters. Iris Murdoch's first novel is Under the Net. Doris Lessing's first novel is The Grass is Singing. Will you remember? They have all written many novels. Doris Lessing's The Golden Notebook is very famous. Henna? Are you bored, guys? Oh, so many other novelists. John Fowles, J.G. Ballard, Fay Weldon, Malcolm Bradbury, David Lodge. They're all later novelists. John Fowles' French Lieutenant's Woman is what you see here. French Lieutenant's Woman. बहुत आते हैं रजनीश. हमारे पास बहुत सारे questions भी हैं. Other novelists. A.S. Byatt, Margaret Drabble, Angela Carter. A.S. Byatt wrote Possession. Margaret Drabble bolo. Margaret Drabble ka books bolo. Summer Bird Cage, The Millstone, Jerusalem the Golden, The Needle's Eye, Radiant Way, Natural Curiosity, Gates of Ivory, Peppered Moth. We studied all this today. Today we studied in an academy all this. Yeah. John Banville, Julian Barnes, Ian McEwan, Martin Amis. Haven't you heard these names? They're all very important. Please read about them. I'll ask you questions now. Peter Ackroyd, Graham Swift, Hilary Mantel. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you questions, okay? Which novel contains a novel within the novel called Free Women? Which novel written by one of these writers contains a novel within the novel called Free Women? It is The Golden Notebook. The Golden Notebook. Then, who is the author of the Booker Prize winning novel The Sea, the Sea? Who is the author of the Booker Prize winning novel The Sea, the Sea? The Sea, the Sea is by John Banville. John Banville. Who of these writers started New Wave Science Fiction? New Wave Science Fiction. Bolo. Who wrote New Wave Science Fiction? It is J.G. Ballard. J.G. Ballard. Then I want to ask you a question. Which of these authors wrote a Booker Prize winning novel that presents two Victorian poets in love? Which of these writers wrote a novel that presents two Victorian poets in love? Sorry, The Sea is by John Banville. The Sea is by Iris Murdoch. The Sea is by Iris Murdoch. The Sea is by John Banville. Correct. Shweta, I'm sorry. Then, it is Possession. Possession shows two Victorian poets, Randolph Henry Ashe and Christabel Lamotte. Randolph Henry Ashe and Christabel Lamotte. Will you remember which of these authors wrote a novel set in Lyme Regis? Which of these authors wrote a novel set in Lyme Regis? Lyme Regis, it's The French Lieutenant's Woman by John Fowles. What is the name of the school in which the prime of Miss Jean Brodie is set? What is the name of the school in which the prime of Miss Jean Brodie is set? It is Blaine Junior School. Blaine Junior School. The prime of Miss Jean Brodie is set in Blaine Junior School. The Infernal Desire Machines of Dr. Hoffman. Bolo kisne likha? The Infernal Desire Machines of Dr. Hoffman. It is by Angela Carter. Angela Carter. Then I want to ask you, who is the author of The Sense of an Ending, Booker Prize winning novel? The Sense of an Ending. The Sense of an Ending is by Julian Barnes. Julian Barnes, okay.